Hi, fellow traders, what's happening? Welcome to a new week. I hope you got it started out on the right foot. For the first time in a couple of weeks, I started out on the right foot. Not a perfect day, but a day that I'm happy with and I can build off of for the rest of the week. So, before we get into today, I want to share this with you real quick. You know, Contrary to popular belief, you are in control of your opportunities. All right, when opportunities come your way, you have to be in a position to take advantage of it. And I I don't know, most of you guys should know who Richard Branson is, Sir Richard Branson. He I use him a lot when I'm teaching new teachers or prospective teachers, and why it's important not to give up on students, because this when he was in school, he was a bad student. I mean, he got into trouble. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. And all these teachers thought he would never amount to anything. But he turned all his opportunities into gold mines. And one of the quotes that I've heard him say is that business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. And immediately I translated that into trading and how that could connect to trading, because trade opportunities are like buses. There's always another trade opportunity coming. The question is, are you ready for it when it gets there? And if you're not mentally ready and you don't have everything together, you're going to miss it. And you see, that happens to me a lot throughout the course of a normal day. So for me, it's going to be a little bit, I can accept it a little bit more because I'm actually teaching. I'm doing more than just trading. So I'm actually trying to teach and explain things and all of that as I'm doing. So sometimes I'm going to miss opportunities. Like, I may be waiting for a setup and I turn my head and look at a chart that somebody asked me about, and I look back and I missed the entry. I mean, that happened today. So, but I'm in control of that. I had a decision. I could have made the decision to say, "Hey, wait, let me try to get in this trade first, and then I'll take a look at that chart or whatever." I could have made that decision. So, I'm in control of I'm in control of the opportunities that I take advantage of. All right, so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So there's a couple of things you can do to be ready when that opportunity comes. You want to have a clear vision of what you're looking for, what setup you're looking for. What are you looking for the stock to do to trigger your entry? You got to have that clear vision going into the trade. You want to set goals and not monetary goals. I don't believe in setting monetary goals, but you want to set execution goals. Set where your stop's going to be. Where that is. Set your profit targets. What's your ultimate goal on this trade. You want to have that goal set, and then be consistent in your actions throughout the day. You don't want to do this one way and then do this the other way and just go back and forth, because when you're inconsistent, when you act inconsistently, you're going to get inconsistent results. And so you may win trades, you may lose trades, you may win trades, you may lose trades, and you'll end up break even. So that we don't want to get mixed up in it. We want to be solid. So remember, develop a clear vision of what you're looking for in the trade. Set goals, meaning your profit targets and your stop, and then be consistent in how you act throughout the day. And you're gonna have a better chance of being in the right place when the opportunity is presented to you, because the market is gonna present them. You have to be ready. All right, so today you see we had the gap up in the SPY and very little sell off. We did open and then sell a little bit, and then we got bought back up. Tap 230, and that was, I mean, not 230. Tried to tap 330, but I think we got up to what, over 329.50. Could not quite tap 330. So we'll look for it to take 330 out tomorrow. But you can see, you know, for me, remember I told you guys, everything that happened over here, I'm not really concerned about. What my focus was the chart from when we started rolling over because of the virus and everything coming out. That changed the game. And so everything started from here for me. And right now, we see no resistance basically until we get to the all-time highs on the spot. So this is what excites me. If we continue to get some positive news from Washington about the stimulus package, it's going to keep going. Now, do I expect it to go forever? No, it's going to come back. You know, like I was explaining Sunday, and hey, you guys that are not members, you have an opportunity to listen to my market analysis and the preliminary swing trades. You know, all you have to do is go to the website, and swing trade updates, that first page has the session that's recorded Sunday morning, so you can kind of hear my thoughts on this. But you know, it's like I was saying, we can live good. I mean, we can live large on credit. Once that credit runs out, you know, it's not going to be pretty. And that's kind of what we're going to run into once the credit runs out that we're living off of right now. But as long as we're living off of it, man, you better enjoy it, because you may not come this way again. So enjoy it, take advantage of every opportunity it gives you while it's giving it to you, and don't look back. And that's basically what we're doing. So not the best of candles today, kind of like an indecision type thing. But like I said, if we keep getting good news out of Washington on the coronavirus package, it's the fact that cases and deaths are still out of control doesn't really faze the market. It's the effects economically that we're concerned about. And as long as those holes are patched, this market's going to keep going. But just, you got to stay alert, because you never know when something's going to come out and the market's going to turn just like that. All right, so let's take a look at the day. Very busy day for me. Out of the gate, didn't really see much. All the stocks on my watch list were pretty much duds for the opening range. There were several. I think QCOM was really nice. There were several that I didn't put on my watch list that made really good moves. But, you know, I have to stick with my watch list, and eventually they're going to work out. But MRNA was on there. And, you know, it was later. It finally broke down. And here's another one of these where my head was turned. I wanted to catch it when we broke the low of this candle right here. But my head was turned, and I ended up having to chase it down a little bit. And it never really got, I was trying to get it to 73, and we never really got close. And so once we came back and made a higher high relative to this candle, I was done. I took it off. You could see why I did it. You know, reading price action, that's something that you can only do and learn trading live. You can't learn it from a book. You can't learn it from watching a video. You have to actually be live in the market and, to learn this stuff. So that's basically what got me out of here. I should have stayed engaged because look, once it got over the 5-minute opening range high, look, it took off. And you guys know every day I show you the power of the 5-minute opening range. It may not give, as many winning trades as it used to give. It's just a product of the market we're in, but it does give winning trades. You just have to be smart enough to manage them and have that experience, and that's why you trade every day. But you can see throughout the day how significant this level is. Look how long it took this to push over, and once it did, this thing took off like a rocket. So and this cut off at what, 2:30? I don't know what it did after 2:30. I wasn't looking at the chart, but this thing did pretty good. I think it got up over this level here, if I'm not mistaken, but did not stay engaged in this. I did jump in some of the other stocks on my watch list that we're going to look at here in a minute. But this would have been a really solid trade for somebody that just stayed engaged. And you have to wait for it. If it's going to trade through all of this, just wait for it to do that and then jump on. And that's all you got to do. So Roku, this was another one that I traded, and this was just a disaster waiting to happen, so to speak. So we put in this channel. Once we put in the top here, we started trending down, but then we bounced. We took out the channel, so hey, let's go up and make our target the 5-minute opening range high. And that's what I was doing, but it kind of got messed up here. Then we got here, and it started fumbling around, so I went ahead and took some off, and then it came straight back down and stopped me out. And I was like, well, forget you. I jumped back in. Ideally, you're supposed to wait until we break over this opening range high. Ideally, that's what you're supposed to do. But I got in, and I left a tight stop on this thing and ended up getting stopped out. And we started to take off again. So, of course, I'm losing my cool, and I just jump in. I'm like, I know this is going higher. We're holding the channel. We're holding the 9. We're just, farting around here. So I got back in and, made the move up. It didn't seem like it was going to get too far, but 163 was kind of my final not final target, but the target. If it got to 163, I was fine. And if it got through and kept on going, then that would have been great. But it didn't. We kind of put in a top here, which is the top of this channel. And, it came back and stopped me out just above break even. And so we started pushing back up again. Instead of waiting for it to break the channel, I wanted to scalp it for a move up to the top again. But this is how I always say, when you trade inside channels, that's when you start giving your money back. And I gave my money back on this. I should have waited until we broke through. And if we didn't break through, we're done. Just walk away from it. So I ended up giving back, some of this money. But the only thing I'm really kind of mad about is what I did and how I traded this. How I let my emotions get the best of me here in trading. Now, I didn't mess up. I was able to, I still managed my risk. I still had my head about me. but this is not something that you really want to get mixed up into. And then BA was the last one. I actually got into BA before Roku. This one was once we waited for it to get over the 200. This was another one that I missed the entry on because I was looking at something else. I wanted to buy on the break. I was in my mind this morning. I made the decision to be aggressive on my entries, which meant not waiting for confirmation, just going in. But I missed the aggressive entry, so I had to wait for the conservative entry. So I waited for a confirmation of this candle. I got in, hit my first profit target, hit my second profit target. We pulled in and ripped back up. So I still had my 50 shares left on this. Ripped back up. And so once we established over the channel that we put in up here, I took it. I added to it. And we moved up and then came right back down. And I went ahead and took it off because I wasn't going to go negative on a. I still have 50 shares. I just added to my position. So in my mind, I'm like, I've got profit on this. Why am I going to give it back? So I ended up taking it off. And I never do good adding, but it just didn't work out. So I waited. We got back over this. I got in, and it came right back down. And so I just waited until we got over this channel again, the top of this channel I put in. I got in, got my first target, and it never did push. Didn't get to 164 for the next target, and came back and stopped me out. So not a bad day. I think if I had kind of cleaned up my trading a little bit and not been so aggressive, maybe I would have made $800 to $1,000. But then again, if I was conservative across the board, maybe I would have ended up with $500 again. Who knows? But the problem is, mentally I came out with an aggressive mindset, and you're gonna push the envelope a little bit more. So tomorrow I probably need to dial it back in and kind of bring things back in focus. So 525.72, not a bad way to start the Monday considering how bad the last couple of Mondays were. So I will take it and be happy with it, something I can build off. So we had a couple swings that I took profit on, and a couple I got in. I'm new this week from the watch list we did yesterday. So here's where we got in on CWH. Now if you want to see all the executions together on one chart, that's on the website too, under swing trading updates. The next day is when I'm able to download them into TraderView, and I'll show you that in a second. But here's where we got in, and you could always go back to the day that I got in, and you can see the actual execution, because I will have these in the recap as well. So we got in here, took profit here, and we were waiting for 40. We got it today, and now I'm waiting for 50. And there was a lot of special stuff about this particular trade because when it came up on the scan and we were talking about it, and I'm like, I've been to a lot of state parks lately because that's what we kind of do on the weekends now, and I'm seeing a lot of people camping, but they're not there just for the weekend. They're actually living there, and they're moving from state park to state park, and that's just all they're doing right now through this whole pandemic thing. And so I'm like, And I started noticing a lot of campers and everything on the road. And I'm like, Camping World should be a stock that we could get into. So, and I said it a couple months ago, this is something that you may want to think about, long term as well. And then just it was either last week, I think it was last week. The owner of Camping World, he owns Camping World, um, Gander Outdoors, and a lot of other companies, but he was at um, Nikola when they were having some type of product launch or whatever. He was there doing live stream and was talking about stuff and said there's some things I can't talk about. He was going in a meeting with them and whatever. And so to me, I'm thinking there's going to be something there down the road dealing with campers and the camping and all of this stuff. So that just made me dig in even deeper for the long-term deal, and it made me feel better about the opportunities on this short-term swing. So I'm looking for 50 on this last bit. And you can see today we locked in 44.25, 44.45.25, give or take a few, because we're gonna have to wait until it clears tonight, and I'll see exactly what they take out. But here's the profit that we took on. When was this? Was it the 16th, 15th, or the 16th of July? We locked in 21.78. So you add that to what we made today, which was no, I don't think that's not right. This is everything now. I still have 250 shares, so scratch that. I forgot about that. I still have 250 shares on. So if I took everything right now, this is what we would lock in. So we'll see tomorrow exactly how much we locked in today that we're going to add to what we did last week. And so this is what you see on my website. And I have to wait until tomorrow to download it. I have to wait for it to process or clear through, and once IB is done with it, it'll come up and it'll give you the exact time and date, and you could plot it on your chart as well. But that way you'll be able to see it, from the time we entered the trade and where we took profit, and a true testament of how much we made on it. So just go to the website tomorrow, probably around lunchtime, and you'll be able to see the updated swings. So SQ, this is the one that we got in last week. I think it was Thursday. You could watch Thursday's recap to see the entry on it, or either Wednesday. I can't remember what day it was. But this is the one that we went over in our swing trading earnings class that we did on Thursday. This is the one we talked about and laid out the plans that we had. So I'm looking for 135.40 for the final target before we hit earnings on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, earnings on Wednesday after the market closes. So we want to make sure that I don't want to be in when earnings are announced. I'm going to play it just like I did FedEx, just like I wanted to do UPS. But that's the goal. And we talked about all the particulars, the setup, and everything in that class on Thursday. So if you missed it, guys, if you're a member and you missed it, it's in the swing. It's the last swing trade class in the showcase. So make sure you check that out. And so we locked in some on SQ today. So the stocks that I got in ZS. This was a 52-week high break setup. We talked about Sunday. I got in it. So we're working that one. And INTC I got in. This was an oversold hook that I completely messed up because I got in it and I was trying to rush and I messed around and in putting my target in. I was putting a target in at 52 or 52.50 in case it ran today. You never know what can happen. So I was trying to put it in, and instead of doing stop or whatever I did, instead of doing limit, it got back to market. Whatever the case was, I messed myself up and took me out of the trade. And so I was like, well, maybe this is a sign I'm not going to trade it. I'll wait, and if it sets up again tomorrow, whatever, I'm just going to leave it alone. So maybe this is somebody telling me to stay away from it. And it turned out to be the right decision because it didn't really go anywhere. It might be like flat on the day right now. So, that might have been a blessing in disguise. But 36, 14, 49 is what we locked in on our swings today. Like two of them were from, earlier swings, one from last week, one from a couple weeks ago that we've already taken profit on. And INTC, we took the hit. It was $500 and some. Took the hit on it. But barely put a dent in this on the grand scheme of things. So we had a couple of other ones. Real DOCU. A lot of members got this, and man, they are making it. I don't know, did it make it to I don't know if it made it to 230 or not. Let me see.
You got to it?
No, it didn't quite make it to 230 today. But really, really good trade. So you guys that got in this on the open, you followed the process for entry, and you didn't second guess yourself. You're doing really good. Another one that did really good today, CROX. That one's doing pretty good too. Now T-Mobile, TMUS, it started out good today, but it didn't finish very well. So, that one, if you took that one, you shouldn't be stopped out. It's still in play. It just had a bad day today for some reason. All right, so plenty of opportunities, guys. Plenty of opportunities. Just have to be in the right place at the right time and focus on maximizing your opportunity and not focusing on the ones that you missed or the ones that don't fit what you do. If you focus on what you do and maximizing your opportunities, you're going to be fine. So you guys have a great night, and I will catch you first thing in the morning.